Right. Good evening, guys. I hope my sound is clear. Can you all hear me? And can you see my screen? Right. So, mm, this is one of the trades that I gave you today, which is the volatility 250 buys. And according to my projection, it hasn't even gone anywhere in comparison to how far we're anticipating it to go. So I'm still expecting it to go further up to the upside for a very, 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 very long time. So let me just quickly round up on it and show you the confluences behind that whole buy. So before I even start explaining that, I really need to make sure that I put you guys in a place where you have to. I saw a certain text from someone who is part of our mentorship class and all that. He was just asking me something that is profound. He asked me why I always and always still want to see people getting to a certain next level and all that, even financial and all that. Then I said, some of these things are things that I might not even be able to explain fully, but at the end of the day, if you, which is the recipient of whatever we are doing here, if you don't take whatever we are doing seriously, you are just wasting your time. You are just also wasting the value of the information that we'll be sharing. Because, truth be told, whatever I'm telling you here, whatever I'm showing you here, these are things that have taken me years and years and years to even come to understand and even fully comprehend everything that I'll be saying. So if we come here every time, we talk, and it only stops there, it only ends in talk, and people they don't go ahead to apply whatever we would have spoken about. It means at the end of the day, not only is your time wasted, but you have also wasted our time as well, because us coming like this, you never even paid anything to hear what you're hearing. You never even you didn't do anything on your side to hear what you're hearing. You are hearing this out of a mere sacrifice on our side just to see you at least leveling up in your trading. So almost everything that we've spoken about from the first episode that we did, those are practical things that can be applied. Practical things that once you put them to work, you'll see results definitely for sure. Even all the advices that we keep giving you each and every single time. Be serious about your trading. Be serious about your trading. Study, study, study. When you are saying all those things, don't think that maybe we are saying them any out of anything that we want from you or anything. We want to see you performing at your level best, and not only not also you wasting time circling around in one position as a trader. Trust me, the way you can spend 10 years circling around in one position like this. Because number one, you might find that you are studying the wrong things, things that are worthless and useless. There are so many ideologies and concepts and knowledge that is useless to these markets, that is especially out there. Knowledge and information that is not even consistent to market conditions. When I mean consistent to market conditions, I'm referring to a certain type of knowledge that you have where it only works under certain conditions, not every condition. So when you have a system like that, or when you have a strategy like that, that's a limited strategy that will only give you limited results. So on the markets, you really need, by all means, to have something which can withstand any kind of conditions that will ever come to the market, whether the market is buying or selling, whether the market is retracing or continuing, whatever. That methodology, it has to incorporate all of that and make sure that you still perform at your level best, no matter the market condition. Right. So, looking at this pair, which I gave you guys a buy, the first initial buy I gave you as well. So the reason why some of these things sometimes you might even think of just stopping and focusing on the students that seem like to really be serious about the whole thing, which are obviously the students in the class. Sometimes you'll be tempted to do that because you'll be dishing out what you know is capable of making people a lot of money. And in anticipation or expectation of seeing results. Because trust me, there's no teacher or lecturer that wants to just be coming to class, dishing out notes, and at the end of the day, at the end of the day, he doesn't receive feedback in form of results from those whatever that were attending those lectures. So the more you are not progressing, the more you are not applying, the more you are still being left behind. Is also the more that you make us also to drag our feet also sometimes sharing these things because it won't be worthwhile according to us. So try by all means, fight by all means to make sure that you apply everything that you are learning.
Yeah.
Apply it, and keep on applying. Because if you don't apply, trust me, you are not fixing anyone here. You are just delaying your own trading success. Trust me, trading is one industry where if you're not careful, you can spend the whole year. This 2025, we can fast forward now. Most of you, if you maintain the same attitude, the same way of doing things, the same way of operation that you're operating in now, if you fast forward you to December now, if we had a time machine to fast forward your life to December, majority of you would discover that you would still be in the same position financially. Not because life was hard, not because the year was rough. No, it's because you were the problem. You keep on repeating the same thing over. That's why the famous Albert Einstein once said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again in the same way, yet expecting different results. That's what most of you are doing. You are still doing the same thing over and over again, using the same way, but yet you're expecting different results, which is what they call insanity. Be careful to not waste another year again. People they think a year is a lot of time. It's not even a lot of time. That day that you are wasting, that month, that week that you're wasting, that month, that day, that week, or that month that you don't put in your best, that you don't give in your best, you've already wasted a portion of the year. You've already wasted a portion of the year. The potential that was most probably going to be realized had you given your best. You've actually sabotaged yourself of all that. And one of the biggest problem that most of you, I see you mostly have is this misconception that I will do it. I will do it next time. I will do it next year. I will do it next. Who told you that you're going to be here next year? Who told you that you're going to be here? Who told you that? So if you are operating from a standpoint of ignorance, trust me, you are going to miss out on a lot of money from the markets. And not only that, you're also going to miss out on so many things even in your life because almost 90 to 95% of the things in your life, they depend on money. So if you don't take seriously the things that will bring you your own money, this is not like we are saying go to a job, work from 9 to 5. No, this is bigger than that. This is a, a skill set which gives you not only financial freedom but also time freedom, where you also now have enough time to even enjoy that money that you'll be making. If I was some of you guys, I would take things at least more seriously. This thing where you are just taking things casually, you think maybe it's just the ordinary things that you've been hearing that you're hearing. It's look at from the first episode to today. How many setups have been given? How many signals have been given? Not only check all of them. If not 95% of them, all of them, they all went into profits. They all did exactly according to what we spoke about. But the next question now comes, so how much money did you make? Right? You realize that it's only maybe even less than 10% of people who really made anything serious from those. Right? I don't want you to be in a to be one of those people who one of the days you now be regretting telling others and saying, ha, at a certain point, I once got a little access to a mentor who knew what you were saying, but on top of knowing what you were saying, he still kept on pushing us to be the best version of ourselves, to be even the best version of ourselves, even on the market. You are going to experience people like myself in your lifetime. You might even find two or three, if the grace of the Lord locates you, maybe four, right? People who genuinely want to see you performing at your level best. They don't only wish you to do that, but they even come to now give you the tools and resources. Say these are the tools. Use them. Max, use them like this, like this, like this. Don't do A, B, C, D. Do like this, like this, like this. So those are some of the disadvantages, especially of coming to people uh, via free platforms. The danger of free platforms, especially in the black community, is the mental laziness that comes with it. People, when they are offered, especially something that is valuable on a public platform like this, they take it for granted. They think it's just ordinary. That's why I don't encourage you to remain in the public groups that we have. There's so much things that we don't share there. There are things that you'll never hear me talking about there in those public platforms due to so many reasons and all that, right? You graduating to the private platforms, you are helping yourself. Don't even one day think that you're doing me a favor, or you're not doing me a favor, you're doing yourself your own favor, right? So it's not even about there's a certain point in life where you just need to straight on tell people the truth as it is. Because most people, if they are not told the truth, they will never change. They will never change. This issue of motivating people, yet they still keep on cycling around in the same position. It doesn't work. You have been motivated for years. You have been receiving motivation. But out of that motivation, what results do you now have? Zero, right? It's motivation that is just coming as motivation without a backup of knowledge that will empower you to actually perform better. Be careful to not take things for granted, especially things that are legit, things that are of high value, like what we're talking about every day, like this. Be so much careful. Be careful, even not to waste your own time, just being just being a spectator of what is going on and not being a participant. Because if you are just going to be a spectator, you are never even going to realize how valuable what you're talking about is. Right now, the people that might respect what I'm saying right now, you might be shocked that it's only those that are in the mentorship class. Because majority of them, if not all of them, they have tested of these things. They know what I'm talking about works, and they have charged money through what I'm showing you guys here. So it only takes someone who is ignorant enough to not even observe something of high value when it's being spoken, which also comes as a byproduct of having a mentality of poverty. A poverty mentality is simply your inability to recognize your opportunity to be rich, even if it's in front of you. That's the definition of what we call a poverty mentality. It's not about even lacking money. Lacking money is a byproduct of a poverty mentality. You not being able to distinguish between information of high value and information of low value. That inability, that's what we are calling a poverty mentality. Your inability to not even know what to prioritize in terms of, okay, I have an opportunity to become my own boss through mastering forex trading, right? Then on the other side, I'm still working for someone, which is not a problem. So if I'm that serious of one day making my own money and realizing financial freedom, I must also still force myself, even after working that 9 to 5, and even dedicate 1 hour every day, right? For the sake of my own personal financial freedom. Some of you, the excuses that I hear you giving me sometimes in my inboxes, they are so pathetic. You can definitely tell that this person doesn't have the desire. The desire to be rich is not there. The desire to be rich, this is a certain fire that you can't even explain to people. It's something that it will force you to study when it's time to study. It will force you to read when it's time to read. It will force you to do what you must do in order to be rich. Many people they don't have that one. All they have are wishes. Me, I wish to be rich. Wishes they will never bring riches. That's the starting point, yes, but it mustn't end there. Wishes, you start by wishing, but you must grow and develop where it becomes a desire, which is a burning desire. Once it's a burning desire now, there now you are never going to be pushed to say, hey, do this, do that. Do that. You actually do what you are supposed to do. You will think what you are supposed to think. You actually be now you will now be flowing in the like in the whole direction of your financial freedom, right? So you will not even need external motivation for you to do what you must do. That's a level where you're now flowing with a burning desire. The burning desire now is the one that will now be pushing you from inside out. Some of you, the reason why you still need external drive, external push like this is because the desire is not there. It died long time ago. The reasons why some of you the desire died could have been even losing a lot. Losing after losing after losing after losing after losing. It can even quench, it can even dry up that whole desire, right? It can even spending a lot of time with people that are losing also. It can even make that desire to go down because people that are losing, all they can talk about is losing. That's all they can share. Even if they you don't talk about losing, the energy around you, the energy that you'll be rubbing on each other, is an energy of losing, right? A loser and a loser, they can't help each other. They can only assist each other in losing more. So be careful not to waste. Right now, it's almost 27 Jan. We're almost getting to the end of the first month. The next big question will be, in this 1 month, which was 30 or 31 days, what have you accomplished financially as a forex trader? Okay, even if it's not a financial progress. Okay, knowledge wise, what is it that you can pinpoint and say, I now understand A, B, C, D. I now know something of value. You realize majority here, there's nothing to show. There's not, so you keep on going month after month after month, being the same person doing the same thing up until the year ends. Be careful not to waste another year. This thing of postponing, I mean, I'll start it tomorrow. Me, I'll look at the charts tomorrow. Some of you even look at the charts once a week. And yet, when you hear that person talking, I mean, I will make it. I want to make it big. You want to make it big where? Where do you want to make it big? Because based on the actions that you are even showing, they don't even deserve to make it big. The actions that you are giving out to the market, that you're giving out to life, They are saying otherwise. You verbally, you are saying, I'm going to make it big. But still, the way you are moving, it's not sure, it's not in confluence. What you say, what you think, and how you act, it must all be saying the same thing. That's how you start to see progress. Be careful not to waste another year. Be so much careful. I told you this over and over. It's not a matter of scaring you or anything. That issue of the virus, it's an issue which is still valid. You can do your research and everything. The first pandemic was a test to test out how humanity responds to lockdowns. And they realized, you actually cooperate. So if they bring another one, it's no longer an experiment because their first experiment was a success. The second one is no longer an experiment. So you don't want to wait for those things to happen, to start happening for you to start being serious about your money. Don't wait for economic events in the world to start shifting for you to start being serious. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for you to even lose the job that you have now, if you have a job, for you to start being serious. I have students, obviously now they are doing well, but initially, what made them to even decide to say, Mr. Mike, me, I now think I now need to take my trading to the next level. I now want to be serious about this thing. I now want this thing to work. It was because of a disappointment that they got from a job that they lost, of which you don't have to wait for that event to happen for you to start being serious. Seriousness is something that can even start now. It's just a simple decision that you make on your own. You don't even need anyone to come and push you to say be serious. You make That's why if you don't have any financial goals, it's very hard for you to even push yourself. Right now, if I ask you, how much are you aiming to make before the year ends? It might only be 10% of people that might give me even a solid answer. Majority of you haven't even thought about it. It's something that you might even start to think about now. Already you are proving to yourself that you're not serious. There you just be proving to your own self that me, I'm not as yet serious about financial freedom. So the journey to financial freedom, it's a journey. That's why the reason why you see even the statistics in the world, they actually say, look at the statistics. I think we have discussed about this previously, before. I mean, where you find in Africa we are billion, I think we are more than a billion or so in terms of population. America, there are millions. I think, is it 300 million or what? But if you find the number of multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires in Africa compared to America, America is a lesser population to Africa, but they have more multi-millionaires and multi-billionaires more than Africa. Africa, you are more than a billion in population, but look at the number of millionaires that you have. Look at the number of billionaires. Not billionaires, it's even worse because it's even less than, I think it's 80. Is it 8 or 18? I'm not so sure. The correct number of billionaires, known billionaires. I'm not talking about people who project or people who just assume that they are billionaires. I'm talking about the known ones that are on Forbes. Why are statistics like that? They're like that because people, they are so stupid enough to an extent that they can repeat the same formula that is not working over and over again. People, they are going year in, year out, doing the same things with the same mentality every time and yet expecting a change. That's what people in Africa are doing. That's what Africans are doing. Africans, we are simply going year in, year out, doing the same thing with the same mindset, same mentality, same energy, same with the same, we are not with the same approach year in, year out. But yet we say, we want things. I wish one of the days my life would change. That talk will never bring any change. Your life will only change when you decide for it to change. The day that you're going to make a decision to say, no, man, I can't remain at this financial level. I've asked you this question over and over. Who told the millionaires that you are now seeing as millionaires to be millionaires? Who told the billionaires to be billionaires? They told themselves. They simply sat down one of the days and said, no, man, I can't keep suffering financially like this. I can't being like this. I never came to earth to suffer. Who told you that you came to earth to be suffering? This thing where you are working from hand to mouth. Who told you that that's your purpose on earth? To be suffering. You think God, in all his majesty, in all his intelligence, in all his supreme whatever, he would launch you to earth for you to work 9 to 5, 12 months in a year in, year out, just to make peanuts. Then you die, then you go back to heaven or to hell, I don't know. Do you think he would do such a thing? He wouldn't do such a thing. The reason why people are experiencing poverty is not because God is not available. God has always been there. His blessings have always been there. But the people, they are not mentally ready for that which they even claim to want. We're laughing this other day with some of our students where we are just discussing just an offside question from trading, where we are saying, do you know that the journey from Egypt, where those Israelites were, um, where they were in bondage, the journey from Egypt to to Canaan, uh, on foot, it's actually recorded that it's actually 40 days if you're going to be walking on foot, right? Then they say with a car, 4 days, right? Then they said, obviously, with the plane and all that, it can even take less than a day or just some hours or so. So the next big question that we were now asking was, so why did these guys take over? Was it 40 years or 400 years? I'm not so sure. But those number of years, why did they take so much time? The answer was so simple. The answer is simple, which is their mentality was now used to suffering. The danger of poverty is not even it's not even in your lack of money. No, that's the least danger of poverty. The biggest danger of suffering, the biggest danger of poverty is the disease that it leaves in your mind. There's a certain type of thinking that it leaves you with. If poverty comes on you, it leaves you with a certain mindset, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of viewing yourself, a certain way of viewing money, a certain way of even viewing people with money, a certain way of even viewing life as a whole. That's the biggest danger, or that's the biggest attack that poverty does to a human being. It's not even in the lack of money is a byproduct of that which poverty would have done on a person. Majority of you suffered for years to an extent that now that suffering it now has a stronghold on you more than even success, to an extent that if when we come like this and we talk about succeeding, when we talk about financial freedom, to you it doesn't exist as yet, because based on the mental energy that you carry more mental energy of suffering more than even succeeding. You believe more in lack more than you believe in abundance. You believe that you fail more than you believe that you even succeed one of the days. All that is what now makes you to do all these other things where you drag your feet, where you are lazy to study. All those are byproducts. Excuse. All those are byproducts of the that internal internal activity or internal chemical reaction that would have happened between poverty and yourself. Even when it comes to riches or abundance, it's also the same process. It attacks from inside out. If you're going to be rich outside, that state of being rich, it starts from within. Once it starts from within, you see that you begin to align your thoughts, your actions, even your attitude, even your perspective of yourself, of life, of money. It will change. So you are still in the same financial position because of yourself. If you are still broke today, you are broke because of you. You are the cause of the poverty that you might still be in now. Someone can say, me, I grew up in a poor family. Me, I grew up in a poor environment. Okay, those poor environments, you allowed them to influence your thinking. You permitted them, whether consciously or unconsciously. That's not the question. But you allowed that poor environment to to make you think poverty, to focus on poverty, to always expect poverty, to always expect to fail, always expect to lose. Why is it every time you're always expecting to lose? Why are you always expecting to lose? Is because your mind has been programmed to expect that. You have been programmed that you are the poor ones in society. You are the poor ones in this life. Imagine in an earth with 8 billion people, you now have a society where they are the poor, the rich, the middle class, and all that. The next question is, who classified these people into these groups? Okay. The next other question will be, who is putting who in these different classes? People, they are putting themselves in these classes. You actually put yourself in the class that you feel like you deserve to be in. Majority of you, you are still broke because you have already put yourself in that class. That's where you have told yourself I belong there. My family is poor. I was born in a poor family, so it means also myself I am what? Poor. Who told you that you are also poor because you're born in a poor family? You are born alone. Being born alone should teach you a lesson. You being born alone, you being launched alone on earth, it must be a lesson enough to show you that you are unique. You came to experience your own experiences that have nothing to do with who or which family you're landing in. Don't be. I hate. There's one thing that I hate when where people project their insecurities on other people. Be careful about, especially in the trading space, people who come to give you limitations based on their own limitations. People who just come and limit you and say, you can never become a millionaire in forex trading in a year. It can't happen. You need years, my brother. Okay, those years, it's years of study and research and all that. But if you meet someone who has gone through the years, right? That is, if you need the years, it's not about the years actually. It's about actually the understanding. It's not about the years in terms of time. It's about how much you understand, right? So if you come across someone like that and then they start speaking, they start talking, as you are listening, you'll be gaining years of experience. The years that you never went through yourself, you start to gain years of experience merely by listening and understanding and applying. To an extent that that whole time that you're supposed to even go through yourself, if to get to that level, if you're ever going to get to that level, it's now brought short due to that whole transfer of knowledge and everything. So, guys, I don't know how much I can knock these points in your head. There is no future. Things like future, hey, me, I'll be successful in the future. There's nothing like that. There's nothing called a future. You're always living in the now. The past and the future, they don't exist. You're always living in the now. In the now. That's when you're living in the now. In the now. If you have that mentality and you work from that perspective, you will discover that you achieve more, even in a month, even in a year, way more than people are achieving in decades. When you have such a mentality that all I have is the now. If I desire to become a millionaire, it means I can be that now, not in the future. Which future are you talking about? In the future, you are just saying next year or whatever. I don't know according to you. But who told you that that time is going to be there? Who told you that time is going to be there? That time that you're saying the future. Did you go there did you go there and verify if ever it's going to be there? So we don't know about all that. What we know about is what we have access to now. We have access to the now. If we have access to the now, and we We want to maximize our life experience in the now. It means we can do it now. We can't postpone becoming multi-millionaires or multi-billionaires to a future that does not exist. Forget that one. Forget about a future. Hey, forget. That's why some of you are still broke today. 10 years ago, you said, me in the future, in the near future, I will be successful. Which near future? There is no future. The only time you only have access to is now. If you are going to be serious now. If you are going to be rich now. Now. It's all a matter of you doing what you're supposed to do in the now. Because when you're saying you're going to be rich in the future, it means somewhere, somehow, you don't even know how you're going to be rich. You don't even know how those riches are going to come. You don't even know whether they will come or not. So you're speaking from a perspective of even doubt. You don't even know what you're saying when you're saying those statements. So guys, you are so much unlimited. What has limited you? Some of you were environments that you grew up in. But as I'm saying, even if you were born in a wrong environment, in a wrong whatever, even if you're still staying in a wrong environment, you still have power to accept that which your environment is preaching to you or deny it. The environment can be saying otherwise. You have power to say yes or no to that idea that your environment will be preaching to you. You have that power. You have always had the power. The day you surrender and say, this thing of financial freedom, it's not for me, is the day that you also begin to degrade financially. The day that you also make a decision and say, financial freedom is part of me. It's my portion. This is something that is meant for me, right? You also start to see things also aligning and shifting in that direction. Some of you still feel undeserving of even being successful financially, which is one thing that can even keep you in bondage unaware. You can be kept in bondage with a false belief system, a belief system that you inherited from a wrong source, a source that projected that belief system on you. And then you say, this is now my belief system. It's like someone who told you that you can never be rich. That person is speaking from his own limited perspective and understanding. They are giving you their thoughts, they are giving you their belief system. And you take that and say, this is now my belief system. You see now how most of you are sabotaging your lives by accepting other people's limitations of their own lives as your own limitation. Be so careful, guys. Be so much careful. I thought I was going to explain much, but let me stop here for tonight. You are going to analyze this pair on your own and you understand why we bought. Understand why we bought. If you don't understand why we bought, that's why you have my numbers there. You will ask, why did we even buy? I can't seem to find the reason why we bought. Tell me why we bought, right? But you ask after you have tried and failed. So that's it, guys. See you tomorrow.